Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Julie Smyth. Today's top stories. A Dublin primary school has sent home a class of students after one child tested positive for COVID-19. New on-the-spot fines will be handed out to people not wearing face coverings. There are calls for landlords in Waterford to return deposits to WIT students who will not be on campus this year. And in sport, the FAI has voted to save itself from insolvency. A Dublin primary school has sent home a class of students after one child tested positive for COVID-19. The South Dublin school confirmed 30 students have been sent home as a precaution. Sinead Spain reports.
The school in question confirmed the devastating news this morning that after just 4 days back in the classroom, all 30 pupils have been sent home. The decision to close was taken based on public health advice after one child tested positive for COVID-19. The school says the pupil did not contract the virus through transmission on the premises. Almost 500 students attend the school in 18 classes. However, only the affected class has been sent home.
Fining people for not wearing face coverings would be a draconian move that we should not go anywhere near, according to the Labour leader. The Health Minister says he's looking at introducing on-the-spot fines for people breaking public health rules. The fines would range from €20 to €100. Labour leader Alan Kelly says the idea should not be pursued and has questioned Stephen Donnelly's start as Health Minister.
But the idea of bringing in any form of draconian actions like that, which would, devalue the squinting windows whereby people would be reporting on one another or anything like that, I don't think that's an area we should go anywhere near as a society. And I get worried about the Minister who last week proposed potentially going into private houses and now has thrown this out.
A member of the National Public Health Emergency Team has described a video on social media showing members of a Dublin sports club speculating on who will get infected with COVID-19 next as disappointing. The video on TikTok shows the girls talking about sharing drinks and licking faces as they discuss who may get a positive diagnosis. The video emerged as two football clubs in the area suspended all activity as a precaution after a number of COVID cases. Dr. Killian de Gascoigne says everyone needs to take the virus seriously.
If we don't implement the public health measures that everybody's very familiar with now in the context of distancing, of hand hygiene, of face coverings, then if the virus gets an opportunity, it can spread very, very quickly. And obviously we have seen that with large outbreaks in recent weeks, and then the large number of outbreaks within the household setting. So it's obviously, I suppose, disappointing behaviour to see.
There are calls for landlords in Waterford to return deposits to WIT students who will not be on campus this year. The college has committed to delivering lectures online for the coming academic year. Students who need to use labs or specific equipment will be on campus when appropriate. Aaron is a third-year psychology student at WIT. Speaking on Daisha Today, he explained that a group of 6 of them paid a deposit on a house near the institute.
We had ended up paying €2,520 for the deposit. And obviously, following with the decision on Thursday, we decided, it would be wise to just stay at home. And we went and looked for our deposit back. And the landlord just said, refer to our deposit retention form, which obviously we signed.
Regina Mangan from Liberty Blue Estate Agents hopes the landlord will do the right thing.
I do think it's wrong for someone to withhold deposits for 6 students right now in the current climate. And I do think those properties are rentable. Now, there are a portion of students that are coming back. For example, we've second and third year students, architectural students are coming back because they have to have practical on-site work, and as well students doing laboratory work. And then there are also students that won't be able to work at home because their environment at home doesn't lend them to do that.
Close to 1 million people across Europe have yet to receive a cash refund for their cancelled flights from Ryanair. The company insists the outstanding refunds are mainly those booked through a screen scraper and online travel agents and not directly with the airline. Ryanair's CEO Eddie Wilson says 90% of those who applied for a refund had received it by the end of July.
10% could, what you could be looking at there is you could be looking at close to 1 million across Europe. But the vast majority of that is online travel agents and screen scrapers. Then you've got categories, like when you're looking at big numbers like 20 million, for example, you've got people whose credit cards have expired, and what's happened is that we haven't been able to send that money back. We're trying to contact passengers.
Waterford councillor Declan Clune says he quit Sinn Féin because he'd grown apart from the party. The Cumber district representative was a member of the party for 18 years. He intends to remain an independent councillor for the remainder of this term. Speaking for the first time since he announced his decision on Friday, he told Damien Tiernan on Daisha Today he got disillusioned with party politics.
I think I just got a bit browned off with party politics in general, because at times, not that it can be a barrier, but it's if you have, I suppose, made a conscious decision that something is right, and then maybe if the national picture, if the national feeling doesn't go the same way, look, that's fair enough. These things happen. But if it happens kind of a couple of times, and look, again, I'm not going to go into specific details because, I suppose those matters are private generally between myself and the party.
Improving the lines of communication is the first order of business for newly appointed Green Party whip Mark O'Cahasig. The Waterford deputy fills the vacancy created by the resignation of Nasa Horrigan and is also automatically given the role of assistant government whip. Deputy O'Cahasig explains what his new role means.
It means that I sit on the Dáil Business Committee that meets weekly, and that sets the agenda for the Dáil business of the coming term. It does also mean that I'm going to have a close relationship with Jack Chambers, who's the Chief Government Whip, and Brendan Griffin, who fulfills my role in Fine Gael. It's important for us that we're able to communicate, that we're able to flag up any issues that are arising before they become huge issues.
A Waterford-based energy solutions provider has secured a new €1 million contract with Lidl. Enerpower will install solar panels on 10 Irish stores over the next 12 months. Last year, the Waterford company installed the largest single rooftop array in the country at Lidl's Newbridge Regional Distribution Centre. Owen Power is the managing director of Enerpower.
So it's really credit to the team here at Enerpower for making this possible, and for, first of all, I suppose, delivering a really good project for Lidl in the distribution centre in 2019, and that followed on then getting the contract for the further work.
The first storm of the new season will be named after a former forecaster. Met Éireann says Dr. Aidan Nulty was the inspiration behind the first storm name as it unveiled its new list alongside the UK Met Office and the Dutch National Weather Service. Christoph, Klaas and Saiveen are also among the names which could be associated with a serious weather event. Head of forecasting with Met Éireann, Evelyn Cusack, says that any names which are used this year won't be listed in the future.
So we will never use Ellen again or Francis again. But at the moment, our collaboration, we're doing a different set of names every year. So everybody's getting a chance. Maybe, in the future we'll move towards having a set number. But it's more fun, really, having a different set every year.
Sports News on WLR.
With Virgin Media Waterford. Want super fast broadband today? Drop into Virgin Media Georgia Street and take it home with you. Easy as that.
Starting with soccer, Adam Ida is ready for the pressure that comes with stepping up to senior international football. The Norwich City striker joins Jason Malumbi, Dara O'Shea and Caoimhín Kelleher in being promoted from the under-21 squad ahead of Thursday's Nations League opener in Bulgaria. The squad are training in Dublin this morning before they fly out to Sofia this afternoon. Stephen Mallon has played his last game for the Republic of Ireland at international level. The Mallon has opted to switch allegiance to Northern Ireland instead. The Belfast native was capped by the North's under-15s but has since played for the Republic at under-18, under-19 and under-21 level. The Sheffield United winger, who's currently on loan at Derry City, won 2 Republic of Ireland under-21 caps under Stephen Kenny in 2019. Turning to cycling, and after 2 close shaves in the opening stages, Sam Bennett is unlikely to feature in the shake-up for today's 4th stage of the Tour de France. The peloton are set to finish with a first category climb to the ski resort of Orsières-Merlet. Stephen Barrett is performance director with the French cycling team Agri 2 Mondial. He says that the Carrick-on-Shore native was unlucky not to have taken his first stage win at the Tour.
I think he was incredibly unlucky. I think if that stage was raced fully, I think he was in a very good position to take a victory, and the carrot for that first stage was having a yellow jersey.
To tennis, and Andy Murray and Serena Williams are both in first round action later at the US Open in New York. Serena Williams starts her latest bid to equal Margaret Court's record of 24 Grand Slam titles when she takes on Christy Ann. Three-time Grand Slam winner Murray plays world number 49 Yoshihito Nishioka. Men's top seed Novak Djokovic and women's top seed Karolina Pliskova both advanced to the second round, but American teenager Coco Gauff was beaten in 3 sets by Anastasia Sevastova. And finally to Gaelic games, and unlike previous years, relegation from the club championship was postponed for this year's campaign. For next year, 2 teams will be getting relegated, but for now teams can be content with the promotions they've received. Ballyduff Upper is one of the clubs going up, and Club Secretary Olive Feeney says the new format will be interesting.
There'll be 2 teams come back down now next year, down to intermediate level. As from what I can understand, we're understanding that. At the moment we know that once we go up, but there'll be 2 coming down next year, not just 1 team. So that will be interesting. It'll be an interesting competition now. Yeah.
Sports news on WLR is thanks to Virgin Media Waterford.